Alrighty, you're going to be seeing quite the pictures today from Washington, D.C. Let's take you back for a moment. Hundreds, not hundreds, I should say, but millions of women marching to protest the Trump presidency just a day after the president took office. In just a few hours, they're going to be back on the streets of Washington and around the country for the third Women's March. What began as a grassroots movement is becoming more substantial than that. Nicole LaRue, illustrator and graphic designer, is with us now. She actually designed the Women's March logo. Nicole, thank you so much for being with us. Let's keep that logo up there, if we could, please. And Nicole, help us understand the meaning of this design for you.
Well, I guess as you might expect, it's no small task to design something to represent all women. There's always going to be someone who thinks you failed at it, right?
Yeah.
It was our hope to suggest a united voice with women, with whatever voice they needed at that time, and I think it was perfect. People marched together for different reasons, and I think that was its kind of its power, maybe.
How did you craft this? I mean, were there many different versions of it before you settled on what you have?
Well, honestly, it was a day turnaround. I was asked in a day, and I kind of relate it to, there's a famous and well-known designer named Paula Scher. She's a Pentagram partner, and she drew the Citibank logo, and she apparently, the story goes, she sketched it onto a napkin, and maybe she was getting a bit of criticism, but she said, it took me a few seconds to draw it, but it took me 34 years to learn how to draw it in a few seconds. And maybe that's a similar story here.
Well, that is something else. What is your hope for the march, say, this year, as opposed to what we saw last year?
Oh, that's a good question. I know everybody has a new agenda. I think, people are still marching for different reasons. My hope is just the unity that, I think it's been so powerful because everybody has come together, not to fight, but to fight peacefully, maybe, against all that's going on, and, fighting for human rights. And my hope would be that it just keeps moving forward.
They say that there is an agenda attached this year. Do you know much about that, as opposed to it just being a march?
I know that they've come up with kind of a lengthy agenda. Actually, I've only just skimmed it a bit. I haven't read it in depth, but it does seem like there are LGBTQ things. There are just a number of new agenda items, as opposed to what the current administration was back when we started it all.
I know that you're not in D.C., you're in New Hampshire. Is there a march there that you're going to participate in, or are you going to be doing something to honor it?
Yeah, it's in Concord at the State House, and yeah, I will be going for sure.
All righty. Well, yeah, and it must be really special to you. I mean, is it funny if you go out and you see your logo all over the place?
It's incredibly funny, yeah. When I went to the D.C. march, a friend of mine said, you're going down in history, and I thought, well, yeah, I mean, maybe, but I think we all made history that day, and those words ring true. Yeah, it's pretty great.
Well, Nicole LaRue, thank you so much for sharing. Beautiful logo.
Oh,
thank you for explaining to us the inspiration for it. Have fun today. Good luck.
All right, thanks, Christy.
Absolutely.